Dawn, thank you for spending some time with us. What was your reaction when you heard that the women's championship would be canceled this year?
Well, you could kind of feel it building up to that, especially when people as close as the two Utah Jazz players being tested positively for coronavirus. You can just feel it, and although in the back of your head and your mind, you don't want that to be. But I was dreading having to text our team, especially our seniors, that they won't be able to realize their dreams after having, somewhat of a dream season for them.
Dawn, what was that communication like, particularly with those two senior players that you have?
Well, I actually just texted the group because I wanted the entire group to feel what I was feeling, and I wanted to hear the responses. I wanted our team to wrap our arms around our seniors and let them know, how very special they are and how much we appreciate them leading us to this point. And, Ty was the first one to respond with, oh, my God. And then the next thing was, she's in tears. And it was, it's pretty hard. And Kiki, although she's an emotional kid, is usually the other way. But she gave us the tear emojis. And it's just really hard. All of our players chimed in and just said they wanted it for them. They wanted to compete and win a national championship for them. And that just won't be. But I do think it was the right decision. I think when it comes down to how it's impacting the rest of our country and what it can do, and it's spreading so rapidly, the NCAA probably acted quicker than we wanted them to, but it's the right decision.
Dawn, you said that you have the #1 team in the country. You felt it building to this. At what point did you realize over the last several days that this was a possibility, if not a likelihood?
Well, I didn't think it was a possibility until probably yesterday. And then as the news you kept watching, every news outlet, every social media outlet, and it was just a build-up to, this isn't going to be. Once the NBA suspended their season, we knew everything else would probably trickle down to us. And you're thinking about how much money is involved in the NCAA tournament, that you're thinking maybe there's a shot of us being able to participate. But then it's like, more and more cases, and, the unknown is right there in front of our faces. And although, we want to turn a deaf ear to it, it's right there in front of us, and it's not getting any better.
Dawn, understanding that basketball or any sport really takes secondary consideration, if even secondary, during a pandemic like this, but still, it's what coaches do, and your role in this sport has been immense. And with your team, with the opportunity to compete for a national championship, and the way Oregon's Sabrina Ionescu has really captivated people, just in a basketball sense, I understand you're on board with the decision, but in a basketball sense, how would you describe what was lost by not being able to play the women's tournament?
Here's what was lost. Players, I would say, Sabrina was definitely brought a lot of fans to our game, but if you just kind of looked at what we were able to do in South Carolina with the fan base that we have, and if you just look at the social media wars with different fan bases, we were talked about a lot, meaning the whole culture of women's basketball. It was a thing this particular season. I mean, it was highly competitive. You had, so many different #1 teams in the country. You had so many upsets. You had so many other programs on the rise and doing historical things. And this, by far, probably would have been the most competitive women's basketball NCAA tournament ever. Just packed with exciting players, talented players who are seniors, who are juniors. We had, an incredible year, and for it to abruptly end, I mean, I'm sitting here like I have nothing to do. Like I have nothing else to do when, my DVR was full of games that I've recorded all season long, and I'm at a point where I've been trying to watch, who I think our first round matchup would be, and it's so very hard to just have the bottom just drop out. And then furthermore, I have 12 players who, they were amped up. Although we were on spring break and they had a few days off, we were decompressing just to gear up. They were all expected to come back tomorrow. We have a practice to get ready and get focused on trying to win another national championship. And it won't be. But Rece, I have to say this, and I'm probably going to stir up, some folks. We ended the season as the number one team in the country with the best record in the country, the only team that won their regular season and conference tournament undefeated. I think if they're going to pass out a national championship trophy, we got our hands out at South Carolina.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.